I cannot stress enough how bad the Buccaneers was last year. It can't get much worse. Welcome back to the Kev BK Beloved Show. I'm your host, Kev BK Beloved, covering sports among other things. We are back to sports today, doing a NFC South preview, and I got a guest with me, my man Jermaine Williams from the Main Radio Podcast. Jermaine, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing amazing.
Good to hear, my man. Good to hear it. So let's not delay any further. We're going to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and apologies to all the listeners because I've done 3 divisions so far, and I have never started with a 2023 preview like every other podcast in the world. So that one's on me. So we're going to start Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. I would call them the surprise of the league. No one thought Baker was going to be as good as he was going into that year. Everyone thought Todd Bowles was on the hot seat. Now, here we are a year later. They won a playoff game. Todd Bowles looks nice and secure. Their offense coordinator's a head coach now. And so far, I don't really have a reason to think this year's going to go much differently. But what say you? What's more likely? That they make the playoffs or they end up with the number 1 overall pick, worst team in the league?
Well, I appreciate you bringing me on here, first of all. Really love your show. Really do.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
To answer your question, I believe that for Tampa, when it comes to the quarterback and offensive coordinator, like that's a huge thing that, needs to be addressed, because for the most part, when you do lose an offensive coordinator, you can see what happened with Jalen Hurts. In that aspect. So it's just like, and Baker, for me, he already started off with the Browns, and then he went to the Rams with actual Zach Robinson as his OC. So I think Baker has pretty much gotten to that point where he knows all of the offensive schemes, to RPOs, to I formation. I mean,
he done seen it all.
He's seen it all, right? Texas Tech, from Cliff Kingsbury to Lincoln Riley. Let's think about those things. So I think for Baker, I think he's going to be okay because he's be a chameleon. But at the same time, I believe that they will take a step back just for that main reason alone.
So the only reason it's harder for me to answer the make the playoffs point, because I think the NFC is so deep. Like, the top end talent of the NFC may not be as good as the top end talent of the AFC, but I look at the NFC North alone and I'm like, wow, there might be 3 playoff teams from just that division. So we look at a Tampa who didn't get astronomically better from the year before, and they won that division by the hair on their chinny chin chin. It's hard for me to imagine that they're going to make the playoffs again, especially when there is another team in that division who we'll get to later that did get a bunch better. But I'm happy you brought up Jalen Hurts with the Eagles last year, because that's such a good comparison. Shane Steichen leaves. They promote Brian Williams, who was the quarterback coach and Jalen Hurts' best friend, and all offseason long we hear about the system's going to remain the same. Jalen's more comfortable with this guy. We're hearing the exact same thing right now with Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So we're kind of answering it already, but with these new circumstances, do you think that Baker can repeat or improve on last season?
That's depending on if they got him the necessary help when it comes to the running game. I thought for everybody just to, cornerbacks, safeties, linebackers, just to, equal on or put their eyes focused on Baker Mayfield, not even looking in the backfield, nowhere near that,
No.
So I think in that aspect, they can Baker Mayfield can take a step up by hopefully their running game suffocating those linebackers in and leading Goodwin and Mike Evans wide open, or even their guy Palmer. So
I'm so happy you brought up the run game. You're killing it with the transitions today, by the way. Love it. I cannot stress enough how bad the Buccaneers run game was last year. I don't usually do the stat people down with a bunch of the numbers, but I have to. I can't help it. The Buccaneers rushing attack last year went against the second most light boxes. So 6 or less in a box, they saw the most. They didn't respect the run at all in Tampa. Yet they were dead last in yards per carry, dead last in success rate, 31st in EPA per rush, 31st in explosive run rate, 31st in yards created after contact per carry, 16th in most running back runs, and dead last in rushing first downs last year. It can't get much worse. Like,
it really can't.
They have nowhere to go but up in terms of the running game. So I'm with you. If they can manufacture some way, shape, or form of a run offense, they should be on the way up. And I like Bucky Irvin, the guy they drafted, but how much are we going to expect from a rookie just getting into the league, trying to get his feet wet until like week 10, 11-ish when they get ingratiated with the offense?
Yes, fair statement. And I think that, like, the Tom Brady effect, just that alone, I feel like just me being a Tampa fan in some way, because I did live in Tampa for 5 years, I'd say just leaving, he left a little bit like a, I don't even know how to say it, like some concrete. Like he left
he left a foundation.
He left the foundation. He really did. And I truly believe that, just in the sense of the GM and the ownership knowing, okay, now we really know what it takes to win, in some sense. So with the running game, which you when you gave me the notes, I'm not going to lie, I was flabbergasted. I could not believe they were the last. I was like, I knew they were bad, but not.
You didn't know they were that bad.
I would say the run game has to definitely take a notch up for the Baker Mayfield to get to the level where he needs to be.
And I think about how it's going to affect those receivers as well. Mike Evans, we're not worried about Mike Evans. Just pencil him in for 1,000 yards now. We can fast forward to the end of the season. He'll put up his 1,000 and 8 to 10 touchdowns, 70 to 80 receptions, and we'll move right along. But when I look at Godwin, Palmer, they drafted a receiver I really liked. Jalen McMillan, duh. They drafted a Jalen McMillan who, from that Washington trio, who all of them were fantastic. The Dogs, the Huskies, all of them are great. I got Polk on my Patriots, so I cannot wait to watch. Love all three of those guys. So if they're able to get some semblance of a run game going, I think that offense will be straight. I want to look at the other side of the ball, though. They took some hits on this defense, man. They lost some guys. Carlton Davis is now a Lion. Shaq Barrett, while yes, not the player he used to be, he's no longer there. He's in Miami. Devin White's with the Eagles. How much are these losses going to affect their performance going into this season?
I believe tremendously. It's gonna definitely hurt their whole defense, but it's not gonna hurt their future. So if you want to think about it like that, that's how I kind of. In the grand scheme of things, that's how I kind of see it, because I know what they did for Tampa in that sense and got us the Super Bowl and did their thing. But realistically, I knew that they weren't going to last forever contract wise, and they got to get their money, especially after you already got a ring. So it's not like you got to prove anything else after that. So for that defense being the way it was going to be, honestly, I'm actually pretty happy for Tampa for them doing that, because now it's time for new guys to step up and new guys to be, put their name out there, because it's not like, I hate to say it, it's the NFL, out with the old, in with the new.
Absolutely.
That's the saying. So that's how I got the defense for next year, or this year coming up.
The major loss I'm really looking at, though, is Carlton Davis. Now, I knew they were going to have to choose between Winfield and Davis, because you can't have two DBs who are going to be the highest paid at their position. That's just not how the league works. And I think they chose the better DB. When I look at the two of them, I think Winfield might be the best safety in the league. Him, Kyle Hamilton, Javon Holland, pick your flavor. One of them are the best in the league. But then I look at this cornerback room and I'm kind of like, I'm not really that confident in the guys they got behind them. They got a Dean, they got a McCollum. it leaves a lot to be desired unless you're just depending on the Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey who's a rookie last year. I think is going to be incredible this year. Unless you're relying on guys like them to just generate a pass rush all the time, so it's not going to matter.
Right.
I'm struggling. Or because Todd Bowles is a sicko, he's just going to blitz all the time anyways. So
yeah, yes, that's true. And I agree. I totally agree. Like having those guys out is going to be a tremendous hurt for Tampa. But it's one of those things. It's like, who is going to be next up? Who is going to step up? Who's going to be that guy? Like, oh yeah, he was just hiding behind this guy the whole time.
By 2025, that front seven and that pass rush will be a lot more formidable than it will be this year. Because as much as I love Kalijah Kancey, and they drafted Chris Braswell, who was the edge rusher who wasn't Dallas Turner in Alabama, who's pretty damn good in his own right. By next year, they're going to be guys, and you just hope Vita Vea, who he's not going to get any smaller, but he is going to get older.
He's definitely going to get older. Yes.
So you hope that comes together by then. But you're right. Maybe one of these corners are significantly better than we think they are.
Yeah, and I do really love Carlton Davis. Like he was a top dog, and I mean he would go against Justin Jefferson like with ease, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm gonna definitely miss this guy. So, but Winfield, he's a dog himself.
He's a different type of dude.
Yeah. So I take the overall because he can. Winfield also likes to show up for tackles. So yeah, I'll take that too.
I'm going to dig a lot more into Carlton Davis going to the Lions when I get to my NFC North preview because I loved that trade for them. But finishing off the Bucs, it is Monday, February 10th, 2025, the day after the Super Bowl. The headline of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season is what?
I'm probably have to go with 9-7 record.
Mm-hmm.
Looks the same as last year.
I'm going with the headline of, in the NFL, if you aren't getting better, you're getting worse.
Wow.
I think they're relatively the same team as the year before, barring a jump in the running game, like we said earlier. And the team we're going to get to next is so much better.